All right. Had to get me a cup of tea. I like that green tea with lemon and honey. And I'm not sick. You know what they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Hey, welcome to the Truth About Dating and Relationships. Today is Monday, February 1st, 2021. I hope y'all staying safe and I hope you had a good weekend. Well, how we gonna get this baby kicked off? What y'all want to talk about today? I'll tell you what, let's just pick something out the hat. Let's pick something out the hat. Let's see what happens. We got a vow is a promise. A vow is a promise. A vow is a promise. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. A vow is a promise. When I think of vows, I think about wedding vows. Since this is the truth about dating and relationships, right? So I think about wedding vows. You know, when you decide to get married, you and your woman thought about it, you talked about it, you did all the paperwork, you did the math, what you have to do in order to make it. Can you take care of the kid? Do you want to be a stepdaddy? Do you want to be a stepmama? Do you want to get off into this ready-made family? Or do you just want to start from scratch? Well, with me, I stepped into a ready-made family. I was 38 years old. Stayed married for 15 years. And talking about a vow is a promise. You know, when you stand up in front of the preacher and all them people that you done invited, and you give your word for better or worse, sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer. Right? You vowed that it was going to be y'all against the world. Wasn't nobody going to come between that. Now, we know that if you're not of good character, if you're not of good standing, then your word don't mean nothing anyway. You know what I mean? So you can stand up, you can make a vow, and you can say what you're gonna do, what you're not gonna do. I'm gonna stick with you through thick and thin. How many times have we heard that? But in a marriage, right, you're supposed to have this entity. Some people call it God, some people call it some other stuff in the center of this ceremony. And that's who you're talking to, right? When you say, hey, I promise you that this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be us. Well, it didn't work out that way. And think about it. If people kept their vows, if people kept their vows, their wedding vows, you wouldn't have the divorce rate as high as it is. You know, back in the day, people understood people was of good character. They were of good moral fiber. If they told you something, you could believe what they said. Times have changed. And there's no way to know until you do it. Well, I knew I was in trouble the second week because I had been hearing all that stuff. See, I was raised in one of those families where we had a mama, we had a daddy, and it was 9 children, and we all had the same mother and father. So I understand sticking and staying. I understand knowing that life is not perfect, life is not fair, it's not any of that, but the least you can do is be a person of your word. Now, if you're letting everybody know that you are a child of God and you believe in religion, you going to church every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and oh, I was raised up in the church, and I believe. That's what you've been saying, right? And then you get in front of the congregation and get married, and it don't last but a couple of weeks. By the way, I was married for 15 years. Because I don't leave, you know. And it's not that I don't leave because of my vows. That's a very important part of it. But my character, my common sense says, what you gonna leave and go do what? What are you gonna go do? You gonna be with somebody different? You gonna pray to get somebody different? You think that the lady that you're gonna marry is gonna be different than this one? It just don't make sense to me to jump in and out of relationships. So that's not what I do. Not since I've been grown. Not since I've been a grown, mature man. I don't do that. I'll stay by myself the rest of my life before I go from woman to woman. And at this stage of the game, I'm well past middle age. So a vow, meaning you're going to keep your word, meaning your name means something. What comes out of your mouth means something. So how do I keep my word? Well, you be honest with your husband. You be honest with the person you're sleeping with. You be honest with the person you're dating. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, talk about it. If you got somebody, a therapist or somebody like that, talk to them. Stop jumping from place to place. That's if you got character. That's if you want to change. Because if you don't want to change, if you like the way that you are, there is not a thing no one can do or say to change you. Change have to come from within. So all y'all in a relationship right now, you're married and all that good stuff, stay married. Ain't nothing out here. It ain't gonna be no better anywhere else. Stay married. Make it work. At least you already know them. But relationships are hard. I don't know why a lot of people that I talk to and that I run across, and I'm talking about people of my age, they're still in some kind of fantasy land when it comes to relationships. I don't get it. Haven't you been paying attention? Haven't you been checking out your surroundings? Haven't you been taking notes of the events that's been happening in your life? That's how we learn. That's how we gain knowledge. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. I know about three couples. They're talking about getting married. I'll believe it when I see it. Because to be honest with you, I think the bridge gonna blow up before they cross it. Just from what I see, because they're in la la land. Marriage, and when you're our age, marriage is not a fantasy land type situation. The plane, you on fantasy island. No, the reality of it is you got finances, right? Oh, you spending too much money. Well, it's my money. It's our money. I'm spending what I want to. Right? Now, we're talking about just everyday down to earth people. We're not talking about people that's got it made. And I guarantee you, even the people that got it made do not like blowing their money. That's how they got their money, because they don't blow it. And they don't want you coming in blowing it. So you got your finances. You got the sex issue that happens because the rose colored glasses is gone. Right? You in it now. There's no more pretending. Oh, you left the cap off toothpaste. I made your breakfast and you didn't eat it. What you getting up so early for? I don't see you anymore. You're always working. We ain't made love. We ain't been out. We ain't been dancing. We ain't been to the movies. All that's part of marriage. So you got to do something to keep it happy. You got to, man. You got to do. I tell you what. You got to do what you got to do to satisfy each other. And like I said before, it don't always take a lot of money. Sometimes it's just about quality time. And this deal about, because it happened to me when I was married. Oh, we was making love, 4 or 5 times a day, but once we got married, man, you'd have thought that I just thought I was walking on my Sahara Desert, man. It dried up, Jack. It dried up. And that's one of the worst things that can happen. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies. When that happened to a man, he feel like he's been duped. He feel like he's been conned. He felt like it's a scam. You baited him in. A man is supposed to be the leader. Maybe I wasn't a leader. I don't know. I know one thing. I'm not married anymore. And I've had some happy times after that. I've learned a lot. But I keep my vow. I keep my promise. And you don't keep your promise or your vow just because you're getting married. You should have been keeping it anyway. See, I was keeping mine anyway. It wasn't new to me. So that was the conversation for today. That's what we pulled out of the bucket of topics. A marriage vow is a promise. Can you keep your promise? Did you keep your promise? Because, we know if you want to leave, you can leave, right? You got that right. But why did you leave? Is because you're still selfish and self-centered and never did understand what marriage was really about? Did you have some kind of fantasy of what you thought marriage was? And then when the reality hit, because you had to be home at a certain hour, you couldn't go out with the home girls no more. I don't know what it was. Only you're going to have to figure that out. Maybe you need therapy. Maybe you need somebody you can talk to besides the home boys or the home girls. Maybe you need somebody real. And I think, uh, One of these days, we're going to pull out the topic. We need to tell the truth. We need to stop thinking that we're responsible for other people's feelings, grown people's feelings, and we need to start telling the truth. Because the next generation, if we don't start telling them the truth about what they're in for, they're going to have it a lot worse than we did. So let's do that for them. Let's tell the truth. So, with that being said, I'm going to get in this old car and I'm going to turn a couple of corners and I'm going to see y'all next time, okay? Y'all stay safe. Love each other. Don't let nobody get to you. And remember, there's power in silence. With that being said, peace.